Manufacture of cement. The chief raw materials for the manufacture of Portland cement are limestone and clay. These are generally available in large amounts. There are two methods of manufacturing Portland cement: the wet process and the dry process. The wet process is older and used mostly in India and Europe. The dry process was invented in America and is still used there. The two processes differ only in the treatment of raw materials. In dry process, no water is added to the material in grinding and thus no slurry is made. Otherwise, very much same equipment is used in both. The treatment of burnt clinker is the same in both processes. The choice between the two processes is governed by the following factors. The first is the physical conditions of the available raw materials. Second is the climate surrounding the place of manufacture. And third is the cost of the fuel. If limestone and clay are soft, climate is fairly moist, and the fuel is cheap, the wet process is preferred. The dry process is employed if the limestone and clay are hard. The cost is, however, low in dry process. Because in dry process much less fuel is needed in burning the material. In the wet process, the limestone is crushed in a suitable mill to particles of suitable size, and clay is washed with water in wash mills to remove foreign materials such as flint, and a slurry is obtained. Crushed limestone and clay slurry are mixed in requisite proportions and then pulverized in a special type of ball mill. The resulting slurry is called as the raw slurry. It contains about 40% water and is further grounded in tube mills and thoroughly homogenized, making use of compressed air, and is then stored in correcting tanks, where after analysis additions are made to adjust the proportion. In the dry process, the raw materials are separately crushed and grounded in suitable machines and dried. These are then mixed in proper proportions, pulverized in ball mills, and finally homogenized. That is made slightly uniform by means of a compressed air mixing arrangement. The resulting mass is known as raw meal, which, if necessary, is briquetted by making a stiff paste in a pug mill. The paste is then cut into briquettes which are dried by hot air. In dry process, crushing is done in gyratory crushers and drying is done by means of rotary dryers. In wet process, raw materials are crushed by gyratory crushers. Grinding of the raw materials is carried out in two stages. First by a ball mill and then by tube mill. The material from ball mill to the tube mill is conveyed by making use of a screwdriver. The material is mixed with water about 30 to 40% before grinding. Wet process is most common and is almost universally employed for the manufacture of cement. Dry process is slow, costly, and cement produced is of low quality. In dry process, the fuel consumption is low, cost of production of cement is comparatively less, but it can only be used when the raw materials are quite hard. In wet process, the fuel consumption is higher, process is comparatively faster, cement produced is of far superior quality, and the process can be used for hard as well as soft materials. In general, dry process is costly and not used much, and wet process is comparatively cheaper and widely used. Conversion of raw material into cement is done in rotary kilns, which are refractory lined steel drums resting on rollers at an angle of 3 to 4 degrees with the horizontal. The fuel burnt in the kiln may be coal dust, gaseous fuel, or a fuel oil producing hot gases. Depending on the temperature, different zones in furnace are water evaporation zone, dehydration zone, limestone dissociation zone, and cement forming zone. One such a rotary cement kiln is shown in the figure. The raw slurry from the wet process or the raw meal from the dry process is introduced into the hopper provided on the upper part of the rotary kiln for making the clinker, which consists of an inclined cylinder made of sheet steel. The cylinder is about 200 to 350 feet long and 7 feet to 12 feet in diameter. The lower end of the cylinder is provided with a fireproof hood to which is attached a short rotating cylinder inclined in the opposite direction for the passing out of the hot clinker and for cooling it. The charge slowly moves forward due to rotary motion given to the kiln by means of girth gear situated near its middle and a train of reducing gears. The upper portion of the kiln is usually bare or lined with ordinary brick, while the middle portion is lined with thick fire brick lining and the low firing zone is lined with fire clay bricks. The low firing zone may also be lined with a lining made of concrete made of cement, clinker, pebbles, and cement. A blast of burning coal dust and air is blown from the lower end. The hot air obtained by cooling the hot clinker is also introduced in the kiln from the lower end. During its passage, the slurry first loses water by means of hot gases and the dry material gravitates down the kiln and meets a powdered coal gas flame at a very high temperature. In the upper portion, whole of the moisture present in the materials is eliminated, as in this region the temperature remains at about 750 degrees centigrade. When the charge enters the middle portion of the kiln, the temperature rises to about 1000 degrees centigrade. At this temperature, limestone is decomposed into calcium oxide and carbon dioxide. When the charge moves into the lowest portion, the hottest zone of the kiln, the temperature further rises to about 1400 degrees centigrade to 1600 degrees centigrade. At this temperature, the mixture is partly fused and the chemical reaction between calcium oxide and aluminum silicate takes place, resulting in the formation of calcium silicates and aluminates. Equations are shown as follows. CaCO3 gives CaO plus CO2, 2CaO plus SiO2 gives 2CaO SiO2, 3CaO plus SiO2 gives 3CaO SiO2, and so on. The resulting greenish black or grey colored mass is called clinker. It is in the form of balls. These balls are allowed to enter a revolving tube known as rotary cooler, where clinkers are cooled down. The cold clinkers delivered from the lower end of cooler are crushed and finely grounded to an exceedingly fine powder in grinding machines. The cement is filled in airtight bags to exclude moisture. Generally 2 to 3% of gypsum is also added to the clinker before grinding. The function of gypsum in cement is to slow down the time of setting of the cement so that it gets sufficiently hardened in less time. Tricalcium aluminate C3A reacts with water rapidly and the reaction is highly exothermic. After the initial set, the paste becomes stiff, but gypsum retards the dissolution of tricalcium aluminate by forming calcium sulfoaluminate 3CaO Al2O3 CaSO47H2, which is insoluble.